It's going great.
Yeah,
Still trying
welcome to training, everybody. If I could get everyone over to Warp Gate here. I'm gonna go ahead and guys, go ahead and pile out of the Sunday here.
You know, there's a vehicle terminal over here, Zeph.
Yeah, I know, but it makes it easier if we have two of them and also a spawn. So, you know, it makes it a little easier for everyone.
Yo, did you mean infantry terminal?
Alpha 11,
yeah.
If you wouldn't mind redeploying over to Warp Gate so that we can get that training done, that'd be great. Thank you. So, yeah, guys, welcome to point holding and triple stack training. This is a basically how-to basics guide on holding a triple stack, and I'm gonna teach a couple other buildings while we're here. Gonna go through this, you know, rather quickly, make it easy on everybody. And we're also gonna go over like different squad compositions, gun compositions, what you want ideally for particular classes and whatnot, and just gonna kind of cover the basics for you guys, so it makes it a little bit easier for you to you know, kind of learn the game. This is run by ASTI. I'm one of the leaders of Astartes, ZyphrTheGreat. Whether you're in our outfit or not, I'm happy to train you, happy to help you learn whatever you can, and yeah.
So,
If you wouldn't mind, Steel, if I just want to get through this. Yeah, so basics, first things first, we're gonna go over class specifics and loadouts. So, kind of, if you guys wouldn't mind accessing a terminal, whatever terminal is easiest or closest to you, we'll go ahead and look at different loadouts depending on your classes. So yeah, I'm gonna go through the 3 basic classes of point holding, what you want in those classes and the kind of weapons you want, and we have a couple other experienced players here kind of give their input and tell you kind of preferred loadouts, because really there are good meta loadouts in this game, but honestly it's really up to personal preference, and as you play the game, as you rank up in the levels and get to, you know, buy different abilities and guns and whatnot, you'll learn what works for you, and that's really what is important more than anything. So I'm going to first start out with what I'm playing a lot of right now, which is the Heavy Assault. It's the mainstay and the backbone of any point holding or any combat in the game. And for the most part, if you're new, it's probably the class you're going to want to play. It's really versatile. It can do almost anything. It's somewhat tanky if you need it to be. It's speedy if you need it to be. It's really, it can be anything, and that's why most new players tend to go towards the Heavy Assault. So in terms of my regular heavy class, I tend to run a good, sturdy standard assault rifle. There is a lot of really good LMGs that I'd recommend for this. Among those would be the MSWR, the MGH1 Watchman, the NS15M1, the NS15M2, the T9 Carv and T9 Carv S, both really strong standard weapons for the heavy assault, as well as the TMG50 would be another one on that list as well. All of those guns are really strong, and they're good for different things. The T9 Carv tends to have a really large magazine, which means you can put down a lot of suppressive fire, and the T9 Carv S has an even bigger magazine, which allows you to put even longer standard fire. I love the T9 Carv and the T9 Carv S. That tends to be the guns that I use the most on my heavy assault right now, and you know, they're pretty strong. Kind of going down the list, as a secondary, you're going to want something along the lines of a finisher. A gun that can really do a lot of strong damage, and something that you can transition to really quickly if you run out of ammo on your secondary, on your primary. Something like the Underboss or Commissioner is also a really good choice. Or
Commissioner.
Yep, and both of those are really what I recommend for a heavy assault.
Can I actually jump in there for a little bit? About your secondary, see, it is very great finisher, and that's for most standard loadouts. However, you should also think of your heavy assault as the inverse of your primary. If you have a really long-range primary, get a close-range secondary. If you're like me and carry around an automatic shotgun, get a longer-range secondary, so that in the moment you can make up for it, you can switch up to it, and you're not crippled by your primary.
That is an extremely good point. Thank you, Steele. That is, you definitely should always consider that.
Steele?
Something like
I-
the Black Hand is a pretty common long range pistol. Not really used in most standard loadouts per se, but in a case where you're running a shotgun and you need to peg someone from a longer range, the fucking Black Hand is amazing to be able to take out those longer range targets. Something I definitely recommend for that. In terms of your tool slot, there's really only one choice. As long as you don't have the certs, ML7, the standard, is an incredible rocket launcher, but as soon as you do, all heavy infantry should get an NS Decimator. The NS Decimator is a great standard weapon, something that I run almost solely with my character. If you're looking for that second choice, something that's anti-air, like the T2 Striker, would be my secondary choice. But almost 90% of the time, if you could just get good with the Decimator, it's really what I'd recommend. You fucking peg someone like that. It has a really long drop. That's what's painful. But as soon as you fire it, it gets made up for pretty. So that'd be my only argument there. Kind of gonna run through abilities through tactical, really quickly for the heavy. I tend to run Adrenaline Shield, which makes up for my. Yep. Adrenaline Shield, which tends to be my
Zephyr, you're
standard
cutting out a little
because.
bit.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Is
we
it
can
better?
hear you. We're just losing some words
hear you.
here and there.
Oh, sorry. I'll bring my voice a little closer to the microphone. That may have been why. Yeah. So my standard ability is usually taken up by an Adrenaline Shield, and Adrenaline Shield is really strong for somebody who's much more much more stronger. It's really for people who are aggressive with their heavy. Is really what I should say. It benefits those who really run around a lot. And that's me. So, I tend to use that. If you're somebody who's a little more stationary, Nanite Mesh Generator or Resist Shield is really where you want to go. But Adrenaline Shield tends to work for me. Moving on from that, Nanoweave Armor.
Hold on,
Almost
can I butt
always
in
have
here real
Nanoweave
quick?
Armor. Really, you just need to. I'd really recommend that.
I-
Grenade slot. I tend to use concussion grenades, and the reason
Zephyr,
for
have a
that.
comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so, for your ability slot, Adrenaline Shield is really, really good. Mesh, Resist Shield is better if you have a medic pocketing you. So if you're holding a triple stack point or something, if you can run that with Carapace and, I don't really remember what the other implant is. I think it's Safeguard, but having that, you will, if you die and get revived, as soon as you're up off the ground, you will have around about 60 or 80% damage resistance. And if you're being pocketed by a medic and you're running Carapace, you are almost impossible to kill. That's all.
Yeah, no, I'd recommend that definitely. I tend to use Adrenaline Shield only because usually I move too quickly and move too much for a medic to pocket me perfectly. So, that tends to be my loadout. But, like I said, playstyle varies heavily depending on your class. And definitely keep that in mind. Your grenade slot, covering that. Concussion grenade. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but that's a really strong grenade to have. Utility, I tend to run C4. Especially in a point holding scenario where if you are running low on health, your medic has you. Definitely run something like C4 so that if maxes start pushing up a staircase, you can just fucking throw C4 on them and Bob's your uncle. They're fucking dead and you get a shitload of XP. So definitely recommend that. Melee weapon can really be anything. The standard that everyone recommends is the NSX Amaterasu, and I cannot disagree with that. Implants. I do want to touch on the fact that for newer players, implants are almost meaningless. But do want to say that for more experienced players, those who have gotten enough ISO to get those implants, things like Safeguard and Athlete are what I would recommend for my medic heavy. Like I said, Athlete helps you with that sprint acceleration and increased sprint speed whenever you've been moving for longer than 6 seconds. Definitely what I tend to run, and the Safeguard is really useful because you get your damage reduced by upon being revived, damage reduced by 20 seconds for 3.5 seconds, and when you get revived, instantly restore 200 shield and 500 extra health, and that's essentially you are full health and ready to go as soon as you get rezzed. So Safeguard is a fucking godsend for people who are point holding. They need to hold a point, and that just gets you right back in the fight, and you don't even have to worry about it. Tactical slot. Definitely want to touch on the Hardlight Canopy. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and skip through this a little bit faster.
I just now realized my mic was not selected properly. My bad. I've been trying to talk this whole time. Ability Mesh, great, especially for an offensive heavy, because when you activate your overshield, you get a 75% movement reduction, and that removes it. So you now can run at full speed even with your overshield activated. Combine that with the Athlete, and you've got a very fast, very tanky heavy.
Exactly. So I'm sorry, I just gotta rush through this really quickly, so I'm just gonna give you guys my loadouts. Standard medic primaries, NS11A or shotgun, those tend to be really strong weapons, ones that I'd recommend. There are definitely a lot of other options, but that'd be things that I'd recommend. Secondary, of course, your finisher or your hunter with fucking tracking bolts, definitely something. Detect bolts, thank you. Something I'd recommend. Upgrade your tool all the way, please, for the love of God. Nano regen device tends to be what I run for my ability slot. Grenade bandolier with revive grenades as well. And I also run restoration kits. And you may be confused if you're a medic why I run all this stuff. Especially because I have that regen device, and it's because I run a very specific loadout. Carapace and Combat Surgeon. Carapace means that all of my health is literally just health. I have no shields. But since I have nano regen device and a restoration kit, I essentially heal myself extremely fast on the battlefield. I am, under standard fire, almost unkillable if I play right. And that's why I tend to run that. My melee tends to be just any standard knife. Amaterasu is recommended. Or I tend to run either Hardlight Canopy or Ordnance Dampener. Moving on to the engineer. Link, would you like to take this one?
Ooh, yes. Now, there are many ways you can build your engineer. But my preferred way, and honestly the best way to do it for point holding, is to sink heavily into using and implementing your anti-infantry mana turret as much as possible. So I can, if it's okay with you guys, I can go over what I have for my engineer's loadout. If it's okay
Just
with
be
you
as
guys.
quick as you can, because we don't want to bore everybody.
Yeah. So, primary weapon is a Jackal, because the Jackal is just in a great close range SMD. Commissioner, because Commissioner. I've always got my nano armor kit maxed out, which you really should. I've got my anti-infantry mana turret. I've got advanced shield capacitor, which may sound weird, but I have a reason for it. I've got a repair aid for my utility. I have the reserve highlight barrier. Any knife will do for your knife slot. Now the implant slot is what really makes a frontline engineer shine. My personal recommendation, and the thing that makes you really fucking hard to kill, is Jockey and Robotics Technician. Because Jockey ups your shield, and that's why I have the advanced shield capacitor, because I can get my shield up even faster. And then Robotics Technician means anything you deploy is much harder to kill. So if you're on your mana turret, you not only can, with the Jockey, you take fucking headshots from a bolt-action rifle and live, your actual turret itself will be harder to destroy by other means. So, combining those two is fucking amazing for a frontline engineer. And we haven't done a lot of experimentation with frontline engineers yet in point holding, but we're implementing it, and I'm very excited for it because I'm an engineer made.
I could also... Yeah, me and Terry would like to talk on some things.
Go ahead, sorry, I just wanted to get through it real quick.
No, you're good. Wanted to put my slot in quickly.
Side note,
Just be as quick
do
as
not
possible,
max
guys.
out jockey. I know you might want to, but it is super useless. Your ISO will be better spent anywhere else. Also, if you're gonna use hard lights, which are super useful in your tactical or your primary slot if you're not running a mana turret, then place them where your allies can use them as cover, not as obstruction for your enemies. It's always better for your friendlies to have cover. Like on stairwells are super useful. You can see them in
And
triple
if you-
stack if you want to.
And if you really want to block off your enemies, fucking just pull out caltrops.
Yes, sir. Indeed. So, that was kind of Buzz doing the basic classes. I'm gonna have Tyrion really quickly go over infiltrators, and then we're gonna move off.
Could I actually go into combat medic just for a slight bit?
We really need to rush through. I'm sorry. We've
Okay.
spent like literally 10 minutes on this, so this is longer than we've ever done. We gotta go.
Okay, long story short, for infiltrators, you're always going to be in close range, so either running the Tsar bolt-action rifle or an SMG of your choice. Highly
I recommend the Tengu.
EMP grenade and... Yeah. Highly recommend the EMP grenade and a grenade bandolier, super useful. Medkits, as usual. Nano armor cloaking is very helpful in keeping you alive. You're not going to need the extended cloaking of Hunter. Implants don't really matter that much. Just do whatever you like best for your heavy assault. That's about it.
All right, thank you so much. So yeah, guys, we're gonna go ahead and go into loadout and everything like that. So for a standard loadout for a squad of 12, we reorganize ourselves into very specific classes. And this may not be your main class right now, guys, but I do want to touch on it to teach you guys what you need. So we need 5 medics, 5 heavies, light assault or light assault or infiltrator, and 1 engineer. Let's go ahead and redeploy and get to that. Thank you, Steel, for blowing up the fucking Sunday that I'm supposed to use for this. Really appreciate it.
I didn't know
You
you
did
blew
a
it up.
fantastic job.
Over here.
We still have this this terminal right here.
Yeah. One thing I did want to mention with the combat medic is that your primary role as a combat medic is not to get kills yourself, but to quickly move around and get your allies up. So I recommend you be very fast, very agile. I use cat-like a lot because it helps you avoid those bullets, and it helps you jump over doorways so they can't hit you and can't like one-tap you. And it also allows me to crouch walk at a normal walking speed. So you can quickly move between covers without having to have a reduction.
Indeed, indeed.
Dips an NG. I call dips an NG because I
Yeah.
have an NG main.
We have 1 NG. Okay, I'm going to reorganize the squad a little bit. Make sure we have our heavies where they need to be. Move you down here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 1 more heavy.
I'll patch you up.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4 medics. We need.
Hey, Tyrion, stop. Tyrion, stop for
We
a
need
second.
1 more medic, 1 more heavy. Links are only engineer. Tyrion, go switch to a medic or be a heavy. Whatever it is.
Fine.
Sorry, I was healing you through the wall. I forgot I could do that for a second.
Thank you very much. We need 1 heavy, 1 medic.
I
We
can
got
heal
all
you.
five
got our-
minutes.
We got our NG. We got our. Oh, there we go. We got our 5 heavies. And
Now an infill or a light assault. There we go.
Cryptic Sentry. I'm gonna make this super easy for you, man. Could you please get over here to the warp gate? You need to be here for training, or else why are you here?
We haven't unlocked squad, Zeph. They may have just joined.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and save you the trouble. Sorry,
I'll get you
Cryptic.
fixed up.
Well, it's like
All
going
right,
a little
now
light.
we only have a squad of 11 people, but that's just fine. So guys, go ahead and go up to the mid deck, and I'll teach you guys what the points are.
Squad is still unlocked, Zeph.
I know, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, this is mid deck. This is where all point holds happen. Is you hold right here on this deck. So everyone, I want you guys to look over where I am. You guys know what that is? That's a balcony.
Balcony.
And balcony is the clarification
Swapping
that helps us recognize between this floor, this room, and the other room. So this right here is called balcony. So when there's a call-out balcony, that's what it is. This right here, this is
Cubby.
cubby. This is
Like
cubby.
Okay.
Super easy to know. It's the little cubby between balcony And open room, which is the clarification. The room that's connected to the balcony is the open room. Always remember that. It's the open room. So
that's what most
within
defenses-
open room, we have 2 staircases. Open stair, right here. Really easy thing to learn. You know, the open stair tends to be one of the main 2 callouts you're going to hear a lot, as well as open roof up here. And you wouldn't believe what the other room's called, because this one is closed. This is closed room, and within closed room we have a closed roof and a closed stair. So those are really the callouts. Within this, you're gonna see a lot of windows. Not all these windows will be open in most bases. This is actually, as an example in Warpgate, has everything open as much as possible, just as a teaching reference. So these windows right here, completely will probably be closed. But if they are open, there is something that people need to watch, because light assaults will come in through them. Now, time to
Also-
teach you where the squad
If I could bring up one point,
Jeff, can I point it?
hang on, Zeph. Yeah, Link's gonna point out the same idea. You can cover balcony from this window right here.
At least you can at least sit here as an infiltrator and like call out when somebody's coming through balcony.
Yeah, it's actually really
long as
good.
the
You can
window's
just sit
open.
here and kill them all because they're not looking over here, and you can't be killed by the people on the ground. So.
Yeah, but you can't cover all of balcony from there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I use
that's
this as
easy
a
for
call out.
people. You
I use
still
it to
need.
call out.
Yeah, exactly.
Medic here.
So,
I'll patch you up.
I'm gonna teach you guys the squad comp here. If one medic could get on open stair
I'll
with
get
me.
you fixed up.
So this right here is the standard hold here. If everyone could move.
Let me heal you.
I am right there, holding this
Medic here.
staircase
I'll patch you up.
against enemies coming up, and I'm gonna really wanna keep it nice and defended. You see, I got a barrier set up here from
welcome.
an engineer, which is really
welcome.
great. But if you don't have one, if we could just destroy that barrier really quickly.
You can't small arm this barrier, guys.
C4,
I got it.
get the C4. There we go.
Yeah, no worries. We got it. Okay. And if you don't have a barrier, it's always good to know that your
I'll
second
get
best
you fixed
option
up.
is to just fucking back up. Do you see this right here? Now I want you guys to come up to the edge of the staircase, heavies. Look at this. You see? You are looking at Oblivion and Tarion down there, and you are completely open to them, right? They can see all of you, and you can see all of them. But if you just back up, look at that. There's their head, and you're in cover. And so you can take advantage of that and really fucking sink them, right? So you want to keep that in mind, because it is super easy to know and easy to defend
Medic here.
yourself. a
Take
little
some
bit.
I'll patch you up.
So moving on from there, let's go through this placement. So with every heavy comes a pocket medic on this doorway. This medic right here, as you're gonna see right here,
I'm
at
out.
Peach Yogurt,
Reloading.
he's got my ass. So if I go down, if I die, he's gonna easily res me, super easily, and I
Reloading.
can
Let me
essentially
heal
just stay alive forever. That's what's so useful about a pocket medic right there. He's defended, I'm defended, and essentially, you know, it just keeps us both really nice and square there.
I'm
So
out.
moving on
Reloading.
from that, we're gonna go ahead and go to the second heavy position. This staircase right here. He's gonna be watching this window. He's gonna be
I'll
able
get
to
you
watch
fixed up.
balcony. He's gonna be able to watch open stair in case he needs to. This is a really powerful position and something that requires a heavy that's able to zigzag and keep himself defended, keep himself alive, and everything like that. And really important. Next thing, you gotta watch balcony. And nothing better than just backing up on this wall right here and watching it nice and easy. You're gonna be able to watch this fucking thing right here in case, you know, you got somebody on balcony shooting at you. And you're also gonna wanna be able to watch this cubby right here, because that window is something light
Reloading.
assaults can egress in front.
One thing is, if you are watching roof and you're standing with Gonzo roof, you are going to get killed from balcony, because they can't. The guys covering balcony cannot cover that place where with this line of direct vision right here. You will get immediately murked. So you
yep,
need to move
so,
to the left.
with having 4 heavies,
Ammunition
basically
here.
we'd want 1 heavy on each of these staircases. Open roof, open stair, closed roof, closed stair. And we'd want medics in between egress, watching windows, as well as, you know, just basically staying right here in the middle.
I'll get you fixed up.
If you perfect this defense, really no one's staying in any of those points. Ideally, everyone is flexing and watching everywhere constantly. No one is
Can I-
staying in one position. We're able to keep everything defended and just move around and make sure everything's fine and everything's okay. But
Can I explain how
until
to
you
use an
do,
engineer?
you want to keep yourself alive. Yeah, go ahead, Link.
Okay, so engineers, what I usually do is I sit on one of the two stairs. I have my reserve highlight barrier to help support the heavy, as you can see. I put it down, and then I put my man turret right next to him in the opening. Well, I would if I was in the no deploy zone, but imagine my man turret is there, and I'm on it. I can then shoot down staircase, and I'm defended. And if I they EMP my turret, I can swing off and crouch behind my cover. You know, it's very useful. That's basically just how I run an engineer. I usually have the barrier beside me and then a turret. And I've also managed to get it so I can put the barrier right in front of me, but that's beside the point.
Usually, here's what we recommend. The engineer is for the more likely to get attacked of the two staircases. So let's say this building out here is where the enemy spawn is.
Reloading.
If that were the truth, we need the engineer on here to defend us and keep us alive. Otherwise, we're gonna want to. Otherwise, if it's on the other side, we're gonna want an enclosed stair. So you know
And
we
the
need to
engineer-
keep conscious of that.
And the engineer is gonna have to have a medic next to him, because the engineer is powerful on his own, but he's not invincible.
Indeed, indeed. And that's what
Also
that
heavy
pocket
support.
medic is going to be able to watch the heavy and the engineer on that main staircase. Yeah, so let's go ahead and hold our positions. Make your callouts based on where you're going to go. I'm going to go watch open roof. Actually, I'm going to watch closed roof because somebody's already over there.
I'm gonna go
Medic here.
pocket
I'll
step.
patch you up.
Guys, get where you
Engineer,
think you're going to need to be. I guess I'll go
Yeah,
watch
open stair.
I'll get close
I'll
there.
get you. I can heal you.
Alright, I got Gonzo.
So,
Actually, no.
Go ahead and stay here. I'm gonna make sure everyone's got where they need to be. So, coaxial, what I'd actually recommend is that you're gonna want to actually be up on this staircase, watching right here on this door. That way you're able to watch that, and if they do flank from that, go ahead and push back here. But you're also gonna be able to watch this staircase right here. And that medic is you're gonna have a pocket medic on this L staircase. The other one is not gonna be able to have
I'll
that.
get you
but
fixed
you're
up.
gonna get it because this is a really hard staircase to hold.
Also, piece of advice, guys, don't try not running
Swapping
a medic.
mags!
It's so fucking annoying as a medic when you're trying to kill somebody and they just won't sit still for 5 seconds.
Yes. Our F ability only goes so far.
Indeed, indeed. So,
Medic here.
yeah,
I'll patch you up.
everyone just go ahead and stay where you think you're gonna need
Thanks.
to be. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure everyone's right where they need to be. Crimson, I'm gonna pretend you're watching the balcony. Link, yep, you're pretty supported here, but you have no heavy. Why
I
is
know,
that?
where's my
Let me
heavy?
heal you.
I'm
Oh,
good on
probably
my own, but I
because
need
Agent
support.
Tarian's over
Medic
here.
here. I'll patch you up.
And he's a medic.
Oh,
We have
fuck
more
yeah.
medics than heavies.
Where's our fucking? Oh, we have 4 headies, and so
We also
we're
have a
short
dead
one.
guy.
That's why I'm just sitting here at the bottom of the stairs. I have no one to
I
pocket.
got balcony.
Yeah,
I
okay,
was, like,
copy that.
Completely okay.
I'm a
Yep,
heavy.
no
I'm a
worries,
heavy
no
now.
worries. Yep, Gonzo, you're exactly where you need to be. And Shepard, I didn't even tell you where you needed to be, but you're still where you need to be. Impies are actually running in between. So you're
I
going to
can
be
heal.
watching that space in between this staircase and that staircase, keeping yourself cloaked, but you're also going to want to be transitioning into this other room here pretty consistently and making sure you ain't got infantry coming on for your other sides. You're really going to be playing a triangle from window
I can heal
I'll
you.
patch
to
you up.
window to roof stair to open roof, and just kind of watching all 3 of those angles. But you know,
Personally,
you,
I
you
build
actually
my-
really-
Personally, I build my infiltrator as anti-infiltrator. I give him a
I'll get you
jackal and
fixed
put a
up.
fucking dark light flashlight on it. Because
Yeah,
fuck
so-
you.
I can heal you.
So yeah, you guys did this point home pretty darn well. Great work.
I'm willing to-
Yeah. Oh, Comfy's here. Hey, Comfy.
I assassinated you, dude. You were dead.
Oh man.
Indigo bird.
Yep. So you know, pretty easy. You know, we got all the basics down. I really want to treat. If everyone could head downstairs, I'm going to teach you the super duper basics of shooting people in combat. Go ahead, line up on the wall that I'm on currently. Line up and face forward.
Right, firing squads to the ready.
Everybody down here. Let's go. Right on the wall. Right on the wall.
I'm right on the wall, sir.
So, without, in a second. So, guys, what I want you guys to do is, without even fucking, you know, trying to control your fire, I want you guys to just go full burst and try to aim for our heads. Go. So, what you guys may be seeing is that you're not actually hitting a lot of your hits. You know, you're getting some of them, but, you know, it's not perfect. Now, what I really want to teach you guys is that burst fire is the fucking God's word. And depending on your range, you're going to want to burst less or more. So go ahead and see Link. Go ahead. Guys, go ahead and do control burst. Like this. 3 to 4. You see? Now that is a more effective way of engaging your target. That right there is able to get you more headshots per capita. I know we'll focus each yogurt here. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it's able to really keep a nice steady pace. But with range comes less of a burst. Go ahead and line up on this wall right here. So if I'm over here and you try to do that same amount of 1, 2, 3, you're gonna notice you're not hitting as many headshots. So you're gonna want to lessen it. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And now you're hitting more headshots. So you know, that's just general combat. Not every gun works like that, but I did want you guys to have a basics. Because most guns generally work like that. Most guns you'll be able to use that tactic to hit us. Now what I want you guys to experience is continue to shoot at me and continue to aim at my head, but watch what happens when I do this. Go, baby, go, 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 go.
Oh, yeah, the ASTI's really kicking in right now.
So you see, it is a lot harder to hit us when you're fucking doing that, right? Because when you're cocked, your movement through speed is reduced, your aim looks blurred, your vision's blurred, and it is fucked. And that is exactly why you guys are going to use conk grenades. Because conk grenades are the best fucking way to push a point as a heavy. You want those conk grenades. They're so useful. It's not even funny. Just like a medic is almost useless without revive grenades, a heavy is almost useless without conk grenades, in my opinion.
Okay, some medics.
Yeah, you're right. There are differences in there. I'm just trying to make a point. Shush.
I'm a walking revive grenade.
Deal.
Throw me somewhere and I will revive.
Hey, if you guys are running a bit more of an aggressive heavy, one good thing you can do with your implants is, for example, my standard loadout, I will run Assimilate and Survivalist. So Assimilate is going to give me shield back on headshot kills, and Survivalist, when my shield gets broken, it's going to regenerate 150 health over, I believe, 6 seconds. And it's also going to give me a speed boost until I take damage.
It also, I think, increases base passive shield regen.
It might. But if I'm playing a super aggressive heavy, I will replace Survivalist with Symbiote, which is basically nano weave armor. And instead of running
Zeph,
nano
I
weave,
can't
I'll run a
accept
grenade
One
bandit
in Chief of
and
War
my
Chief's
conk grenades, and then I get
applications. Could you
4
go
of
ahead
them,
and do that for me?
Zephyr's calls me a dick. Speaking
What
of
the
which,
fuck? He's a canine.
kill me, I'm
Medic
about
here.
to die.
I'll patch you up. I'll get you fixed up.
Where you at?
Nah, he good.
I'm
I got the
I'm good
homie.
now.
Oh yeah, medic.
Okay,
Oh, medics!
So
You don't have to. Now, hang on 1 second.
Oh my god.
Medics, very important fact. You do not have to look. After you establish a medical beam with someone, you do not have to continue to look at them, okay?
Indeed,
Yeah, it can
indeed.
pass through walls.
Yep, and I really want to make a point really quickly here with the heavies that we have. Guys, I want you to, well, I guess this is just general infantry in general. If you haven't already, adopt the fucking combat tactic of when you're getting shot at to fucking shuffle. This is so fucking useful to just being able to dodge bullets and keep your movement up so that you can't fucking get hit please, when you're getting shot at and you don't know where it's from, until you can get to cover, try this out. It's general combat advice, and it works so well. Please do it. And also, don't forget, when you're stuck in a particular question, when you're when you're stuck in a particular door or something like that, crouch spam actually fucking works. This works so well from keeping them from hitting your head. This is really fucking good. This really helps you when targeting a guy. They can't really kill you right away, and it will help you. It'll save a couple of hits, and it's super important to remember that. And it's crouch spam in combination with this movement that is really going to be, you know, kind of super useful for you. If you can
You can also tap AD for about half a second on each one, moving left and right, and you combine that with the crouch spam and then the shuffling, which is what Zeph is talking about, which is this back and forth technique. Then you've got the server will not let you die because there's so much latency between where your character is, where your game thinks you are, and where you actually are on the server and where you are on their screens, that you legitimately just no bullets will hit you.
Now, there is one counter to that, and that's a shotgun center mass.
It is not a hack, actually. It's a feature.
There's always a counter to this, and that is
I'll get you fixed
a
up.
SMG or shotgun center mass on the target.
Well, that only
I guess
works
I think
sometimes,
it's not
Link.
So
But, hang on,
preached
Zeph,
a lot
can I
here.
finish?
Yeah,
Can
go
I
ahead,
finish
go ahead.
the static thing? Okay, Tyrion, stand right
I've
here.
got ammo for you here.
Where's
Tyrion,
here?
I'm shooting it. You see where I'm standing? Standing right there. Right.
Medic
I've
here.
established...
I'll patch you up.
Okay, can you move for a second? Alright, I've established a beam with him. I'm now just looking at you guys. It's still healing him. I went behind this wall. I'm
I'll get you
completely
fixed up.
safe. I'm still healing him. If you're up there on the point hold, and if you can get your heavy to coordinate, then you know that separation between... Here, let me just show you. Everybody come upstairs with me. It's a lot easier to show than to explain. Agent, stand right here.
I can heal you.
Alright. Go to the stairs. Other stairs. Other stairs.
Medic here. I'll patch you
You
up.
see this? I'm healing him. I'm completely safe. I can turn around and look at you guys. I'm still completely safe. But he's on the other room.
Reloading.
Meaning that you can move as freely as you
Let
want
me
as a
heal you.
medic. You can turn around and watch your heavies back. You can watch another angle that you see that other people are at. You can do that shuffling
Medic
technique
here. I'll patch you up.
while holding down this heal. You can continue to move. This is very important. Okay? You don't need to look at someone. It always triggers me when medics do that, when they just stand up on the body and stare at them. You can do it with revive domains, revive beams, you can do it with healing beams, you can do it with everything.
I'll get you
Anyways,
fixed
that's
up.
what I want to say.
Has Vanu Science gone too far?
Nah, just asking.
Okay.
So that ends the preaching version of this training, and thus goes and starts the actual fucking